back. We're here right now with Solo and with Jen to help with some translation. Now, Solo, once upon a time, it was you and Lakia up there, up against a very different Sentinels. But I wanted to know how it feels like now that you're seeing this matchup, but now you're in the coach's seat.
감독님 마지막으로 센티널을 만났을 때가 감독님과 라키아 선수가 선수로서 뛰고 있던 때였잖아요. 이제 좀 감독으로서 지켜보면서 옛날 생각도 많이 나시고 좀 감회가 새로울 것 같아요.
옛날 생각도 좀 많이 나고 처음에 이제 만나게 됐을 때 좀 저도 개인적으로 긴장을 많이 했고 뭔가 똑같은 약간 그전이랑 똑같은 승자 조결승에서 만나니까 또 그래서 좀 저번에는 졌으니까 이번에는 꼭 이겨서 결승 저희가 먼저 갔으면 좋겠습니다.
It just brought back so many memories from back then. We were also in the upper bracket as well, but we lost back then. And it just made me it just brought back so much emotions from, what happened back then. But I just feel like this time we're going to make it different. And I really, really hope that Genji guys can pull it off today and we walk away with the win.
Well, it certainly feels different. So let's see if Genji can close this out.
Genji heard the Sentinels really like Split, so they said, hold my drink, and they did the business. Absolute domination. Kukuka, this Genji team looked absolutely on fire in this map, and if anything, it just goes to show that, I mean, yeah, you can look at the results, but just stay up, man. Anything's possible in this game.
When we saw the map select, we thought, it's a bit of pick your poison, right? It's going to be Sunset or it's going to be Split, and they were definitely very sure about what to do with this split, even though the beginning of the game was a bit shaky for both of the teams. We saw, teams getting echo time and time again. It looked like JunQT was going to have all the effect in that defense because Genji was a little bit lost on how to play around it.
And I think Genji executed on a lot of the things that we talk about being so good on this map for Sentinels. On their attack sides, they had great entry pathing with this double duelist comp. Actually, I feel like in a lot of these rounds, after those initial few where John was getting the better of them, navigating the trips really well and getting into these sites. And in the post plans, playing these forward posts, Sentinels was never allowed to play the set retakes that they're so good at, and they love on this map, which was absolutely debilitating.
And I think it's brilliant the way that Genji was able to interpret and actually read into what they had to do when they got to that post-plan situation, how to put the pressure and no allowing, as you're saying, Mimi, Sentinels to have any kind of breathing room, so they could not win a single one of those retakes.
And beyond just the strategy, the individuals were absolutely hitting. When you lock a comp like this against a team like Sentinels, you need your two duelists to be going crazy, and they were dominating. Texture in particular was ridiculous this map, G.
Oh, well, I'm actually glad you mentioned Texture because, we got to show the clip again. You know what I'm saying? It's, of course, our HyperX reflex moment of the day. Kukuka, this was just like the best possible way to play this one out. The discipline was absurd.
This round made no sense. Like the fact that JunQT took a position that they didn't know, then Texture is doing the same, and he has to trigger discipline to get this far in such a slow, 2 seconds this was.
Yeah, and Genji was good on the rifle rounds, but the make or break in this match was rounds like this, was the second half pistol, was the eco rounds they won at the beginning. Those little margins are what changed the outcome of a series.
Yeah, and also Genji reading onto the read that that Sentinels had. I remember when they went onto A, they knew that they were going to do something aggressive, and they responded with even more aggression, sending the race, sending all the utility to shut down any kind of idea that Sentinels might have had to turn the match around.
What a match it was for Genji. Let's go ahead, though, and take a look at our aim lab shoot around real fast, continue the conversation, because Genji's in a great position here to do something that, other teams in their region have done before, other Korean teams have achieved, right? Being able to hit that second place spot. But the way they're playing, the confidence upon which that they're approaching this one, Mimi, it feels like it's a different conversation.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since a Korean team has been in a finals. The last time was when Solo was a player. We heard that in the coach. He's nostalgic in that coach's interview. We heard him. He's nostalgic about it. It feels like he's bringing something up again and really hopes his team can close this out, because it would be a massive moment for Korean Valorant, for the Pacific region, and especially for the rookies like that guy that was just warming up. Karon, at least top 2 in his first global, would be ridiculous.
Honestly, I don't even know why he goes into the aim that shooting after what we just saw with the judge. He doesn't need that kind of training.
Just by a judge.
But then, exactly, just by a judge to do a little bit of crazy things. Now, moving on to the next map, moving on to Lotus, things have to take a quick turn, especially because yesterday Texture was having the time of his life. Gen.G is going to start on the defense, and I'm mentioning this because of exactly what he did yesterday. I think that the aggression that they were putting, especially being a very default-based team, was being the edge against HyperX. I assume that Sentinels is probably prepared for that, but if he has the room, he will take it.
Gen.G hasn't lost this map here in Masters Madrid yet. They've been on an excellent streak on Lotus. It has looked like their home territory, but SEN is good here too. They're going to be playing the same exact composition as you see here in our agent select, the old classic, the Fnatic comp. For me though, we need to see so much more from Sentinels in the implementation, right? On these attack sides in particular. John QT, I think, had some pretty solid calls on split, but a lot of those little mistakes were the reasons they lost rounds. Saucy whipping on something, someone kind of walking into a setup and dying in these post plants. These little mistakes cannot happen, or Gen.G will take advantage when they're so clean on this map.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to go back and talk about the Zekken versus Texture that we were talking about the beginning of the day. Zekken with incredible numbers all across the board. First in most of the categories and the top 4 final teams. He needs to be the one stepping up, especially if they're starting on the attack.
This could be a massive moment for Korean Valorant, a massive moment for Gen.G, but Sentinels can look to force a map 3. Let's send it back over to your casters, Mitch and Tom.
Well, after a crushing defeat on map 1, Sentinels are going to need a master Lotus in the form of Uncle Eero, or equivalent to it, Tom. 1-0 down in the series. Need 2 in a row. It's not a position they find themselves in often.
No, it's actually a very scary prospect. I don't say, oh, I've got an interesting stat too often, but in the last 9 series, Sentinels have won the first map. The 10th, they lost 2-0 to Loud. So that is the last time where they lost the first map in a series. They've even lost the series after winning the first map, but they always win the first map. So it's the first time we're going to see them properly have to fight from a deficit since the opener. And Gen.G are just going straight in with such an aggressive start. Sassy is dead within a matter of seconds.
Well, when you leave C, when you get pushed back, where are you going to go? You got to cross the B side. Gen.G, 3 push C, 2 push B, retake A. But hold on, Sentinels try to take the fight through them to wrap all the way behind, and now end up coming back as a death ball, eliminating Texture, but the trades stay good. Gen.G in a 4 versus 3, grouped up in 2-man squads. It's a good spot to play from. Meteor tagged, Karen not too healthy either, and the head popped up. It's whack-a-mole for Meteor, with both down and only 10 standing. This pistol looks to slip out of Sentinel's hands, and just like that, it falls into Gen.G's.
What a start. I love the way that they've come into this matchup. This is a team that many were saying that, oh, they should just ban Split. Oh, them picking Lotus. That would be silly. That's one of their opponent's better maps. But the fact is, Gen.G, I genuinely feel like I've come into this series and gone, oh, we don't care what they play. We don't care if that's their best map. We don't care if this is one of them. We are going to play our own game. We're going to play to our strengths. And just look at the way they started off in this pistol. A highly aggressive defensive side push, got in the faces of their opponent immediately. This is a team running with confidence. Just having a great time.
I mean, you could see it the second they stepped out on stage and the crowd was there. The smiles on their face. They are happy to be here. They know they're making history, but it doesn't seem like they feel that pressure right now. They are vibing and thriving, 1-0 up. Sentinels, though, Tom, they've put all their credits on the line. It's a big buy from the attacking side.
Yeah, this is definitely a risk, a gamble. But we know they can pull it off! A little bit of a Bucky play to kick off the round. Munchkin with a nasty surprise. We've already seen this in the first map. An early back and forth. We know that Sentinels can do it, even with just the pistols. The C's fantastic, even put in onto a snake bite. Lovely combinations from Sentinels.
I believe they even, before Zalsis went down, he threw in a nano, so you just had so much damage being issued on that spot and no escape. The 1-0 challenged, and for Gen.G getting back through won't be easy. They've already expended all their big utility. Sentinels have the numbers, and with these weapons close range,
it's gorgeous.
They have a lot of potential, more so when they can see you through the walls. A great reveal from Sassy to get himself the kill. Karen down extremely low as he emerges from that smoke. It's easy pickings with Texture the last alive. He doesn't stand too long either. 1-1 as Sentinels pull it back. Reminiscent of the last map.
Yeah, they're not Mastercard aren't getting a shout out as much this time because it was a full investment out from the side of Sentinels, but what a way to get right back into things. That's the thing. They had a slow map in the last. They got outplayed by Gen G. But to say they can't come right back in and sucker punch their opponents, well, it would be foolish to admit. Either way, not going to be a mass investment on the other side. A few pistols, a Marshall put into play for Meteor. Definitely know what he can do. He's actually going for an aggressive peek around the edge of the one-way. But again, this control is being taken. Sassy farming up the orb, not far away from his ultimate already. Taking a lot of space.
Yeah, once Gen G go for those fights, you know, they're really not favored. It has to be a miracle shot, although we've seen plenty of them. Even just on the last map. Getting back through here. There's a couple 1v1s available, but that paranoia from TenZ, it does a lot of work. John QT's able to clean house. Big kills to have as well for John QT. This man is now 3 away, I believe. Yeah, 3 away from a Viper's Pit. Very early on as well after the fight back. Could just be 2 away. There you go. He got his orb. What is that? Great shots for Meteor. Chances of him getting the last 2, though, extremely low. They peek together and close it out.
Yeah, at least make things a little bit more costly and get himself ever closer to having his ultimate online, just 1 orb away. And actually the same for Texture as well. Getting ever closer to having quite a lot available. But I have to say, like, you bring in John QT, someone that obviously a lot of the reason he's into this squad is for the strategy side of things. But he's been popping individually. Definitely up there with the best frag and IGLs. And into this round, well, it's going to be our first 4 by already. Going to have that Nightfall online for Sassy. By the looks of it, Black here taking a lot of early space. You don't normally see the Odin push this far forward.
We've seen it before, and it was punished almost immediately. Most times the pushes come, but I think a little bit more confident with Texture being there. Munchkin toying with the idea of pushing up, and Zalsis eventually bites the bait. He's down. Wanted to see if someone was on the angle, but 6 HP is all he escapes with. Now they've got to be worried about this position. Karen just bailing, happy to cause problems. And look, he's already burnt up their paranoia. A very valuable flash used up for next to nothing because he was baiting them.
And that's one of the major things, is you don't really have flashes when it comes to this composition. The paranoia really is a huge, valuable piece. Already though, early rotations did actually pull players away from the A site. You can see that Sassy has managed to drag them back. He is selling a ruse. This is going to put serious pressure onto Meteor. He is now the only player. This fake from Sentinels is sublime, even using the Nightfall. And Meteor's even starting to rotate away. They have fallen for the bait completely.
Oh, they've seen him. There was no way out. Zekin's caught. And now there's no way to stop this spike from being planted on the side of Gen G. They have to play for the retake. Spams are coming close. But Munchkin's dodging the bullets for now. An angle for Karen as he sees the corner, but TenZ will make it out of there just about. The Shrouded Step buys him the space, and he's hightailing it to play the post plant. 6 HP on Zalsis, 22 on TenZ, and Second and John QT are not too healthy, but they have to go for a save on Gen G because of all those players still standing. Fight, a bullet or 2 landed extra, and this round would look different, but instead Gen G are out of here.
Yeah, we've given so much credit over to Gen G in the first map about how they were able to push and pull their opponents, even winning fights when they push into the stack. Sentinels this round, that was literal perfection. They used even an ultimate just to sell the ruse, but the fact is Sassy just reclaiming that space late was enough to sell that fake perfectly. Meteor was even rotating off the site. He was so convinced that that was going to be a play in towards A, using their smokes on that side as well. Just fantastic stuff. Well, when you have someone like Zekin as your entry, even if there's one man there, you're not going to have too many problems. From that point, Sentinels managed to convert 3 rounds in a row. And well, what looks like a very peculiar buy, mainly because of the saved weaponry. Still some slight bit of hope based on the ults for Gen G, but not much more.
Showstopper could definitely change the course of a round. A lot of early pressure from Gen G around A. It's not in what they've thrown out, it's what they're preparing to throw. 4 players towards the angle. The first drop the snake bite deep, but a little late. Lakia, good for 1. The damage done. It's still recoverable, but that makes it a little harder. With Munchkin down, they know Karen around this angle. There's not too much that we can rely on Gen G to finish off the kills that have already halfway started. Odin retrieve for Karen, but he's going to find it hard to even find an angle to use this round.
It might just come down to a save. The fact is they're almost having to gamble on where their opponents are going, but the fact is SEN are happy to just play patient. A second round again where they're using Sassy as this luck.
What?
Meteor, though, he's just executed him. And Karen's managed to get a kill as well.
He peeked stairs, and now he's up top suppressing fire. The guy's got 42 HP, he swung out wide. Paranoia hadn't quite landed just yet, and that's a little disappointing. Could have been close with Meteor now having to clutch it out, and the problem is he doesn't know where these players are. They could have snuck away to anywhere. It could cost him a lot of time on the way back through, but it seems he's relatively confident that they'll play towards the site inside that pit. In fact, the lockdown is going to be used here and now. They have to open the door to run away or emerge from that ult, and the timing. Oh, it was so close to seeing Meteor fall. He catches John QT on the other side of the wall. Celsius is standing and now spotted and taken down. A sensational clutch for Meteor. 3-2 now for Gen G. I am flabbergasted. A 2v4. Both of them had pistols, Tom. And they managed to recover an Odin that somehow does some work. But this man, that is unbelievable.
This is the thing, a Red Bull clutch, and at this stage, honestly, you're going to look at the clutch statistics. You might head over to VLR, and you'll see, Meteor's really not that high on the board, but there's been so many occasions where he's in a 2v2, and he wins the 1v2 while his teammates are rotating. So I am not surprised that he was confident in the 1v2, because he's been doing it all the way through the tournament. To use his lockdown there to force them out, he's wasted their Viper's Pit, but more importantly, he's put them on the board when they shouldn't have been there. A big clutch coming out of Meteor. Texture now has an operator. They're putting in utility, but it's being destroyed. Almost just baiting the fact that there's someone here, but he's so clean with it. First kill goes through, instantly retreats.
And a few shots landed, but with the op refacing to land those last bullets will be a difficulty. Even the shot just here whizzing past ahead. Sentinels, 1 man down early on. They've gotten mound control for it, but not necessarily a worthwhile trade. From here, though, maybe they can posture a fake. Not really, though, considering Meteor's utility in play. They'll have a lot of information and content to play a little further back than the C site. Reveal goes up and over. C confirming there's still someone on mound. And Munchkin's in position here on this B site. Wall up. That'll slow down any attempt at a push, and with 45 seconds left, we see the spike rotate around to A. Still stacked up, and look who's rotated into position, Tom. Textures here with the operator.
Well, that's the thing, they use some util to try and destroy their opponent's utility and bait out that they might be going in this direction, but the fact is Munchkin has sat around. There's still a showstopper available here for Texture. He might be able to deny them, but he goes through, takes a risk, and is caught by Zelsis. Karen still in position. 15 seconds left. It's getting late on the clock. The timer ticking. He's waiting for someone to go for the plant. They've done it right in front of him. Knuckle hit him. And because of that, he's able to drop 2. Surely it's too far gone. Karen takes this round into his own hands. And Sentinels, they've been flabbergasted, flustered again by just 1 man on the site.
This is becoming a recurring trend for this squad. It happened on Split with Texture on the back of A, but this time it's a little worse, Tom, because they hadn't thread the needle. They hadn't heard 2 players around this area. They thought that op on the angle was the only thing there, the only element to this defense. And maybe part of that is the Texture ran through the orb. Why would he do that? Like, he would only do that surely in their mind if the A side, if he's the last bastion of defense. But no, he wasn't. An unbelievable round, and one that's gutting if you're a Sentinels fan.
Oh, for sure. Like, the last 2 rounds probably should have been theirs, or at least got close. One of them taken by Meteor now, but they're not stopping. Great start to the round. Zekken on these entries in C has been unstoppable. The showstopper in his hands, and he's just not stopping. The youngsters had enough. He's in the conversation for best player in the world right now, and you've just witnessed why.
Well, that connection's got to leave it to a save for Gen G. You can see on A and towards their spawn, there's not much movement.
You're not seeing enough movement?
It's like Times Square out here. For Gen G, look, 3 to 4, Sentinels, they have that heartbeat up, but this entry was just too much to handle. The fact that the players are already tagged up, caught, I believe, by a reveal on the way through, and then blasted with a showstopper, left to no HP, and you got a quick draw on that stinger to finish them off.
That's the
sensational round.
I feel like you have to look at someone like Sassy and just see how much under the radar value this man brings to the team. Yeah. Like we saw his lurk in one of the previous round victories where he basically baits an entire rotation on his own using his ultimate. Does he get anything on the scoreboard for that? No. We've seen his lurks throughout this, but also just, again, the reveals. Just putting into play Zekken, because he gets that showstopper kill. He might not know there's a second player 100%. Right behind it. But instead, it's just a freebie. Yeah. And that's what this man brings. That's why he's had that sort of big move away from the Brazilian team of Loud. And why he was a hot, sought-after property. Like this, though, Gen G instantly looking for a response. 4 players looking to pressure onto A again. They put some real value in Meteor being solo. And he's gone up this time.
Changing around who's pulling that all about. Texture had the early pick before, but Meteor, the solo anchor on this side of the map, only now having a player come towards him. Munchkin that's around. Not even, previously we've seen Lakia. This is where he'd throw over a haunt and figure out if there's someone in the area. That's a tough smoke to play around. Yeah, do you take the risk? Because if he goes down here and they close the distance, there's no way out. For Meteor, he's going to take that way out here, and now
he got dinked.
Oh, 10 HP. It's dangerous. The nade from Texture might delay them slightly, and he has a showstopper to work with. He's sticking around. That nade actually landed perfectly, and now the showstopper comes through. It doesn't find the kill, though! A battle in the air, and Zekken takes it. The site now under threat with Karen responding. Meteor's big gun shows up, and he's got the little one out as well. The one from the bundle. He'll be able to use it with 10 HP inside that smoke. He just backs off. Posts up with the operator again. The snakebite's coming for him. He's got to back off, and he does. A 3rd kill. Oh, a sliver of health. The snakebite will eventually drop him. But John QT's got 2 more opponents to take down. One on the way with an ult in the back pocket. I don't know if they'll use it. There's 12 seconds left. This is where we want to see him stick that plant. Oh, but there's no chance with Lakia lining him up through the wall.
That was filthy. A seize to catch him, hold him in place, and a headshot straight through the wall to put him down. Meteor, though, 3 kills on 10 HP. It's just absurd. Bear in mind, he got dinked in the first, before he even saw anyone, he got dinked through the smoke, and then just wipes out half the team before eventually, I think, going down to a snakebite. What a fantastic round. And again, another huge individual step up for the side of Gen G. They've had so many ridiculous hero rounds, keeping things level for now. And yet, he's still going to give up that operator to Texture.
That's a good teammate right there. This door, it's going to give him an angle. You're not often going to be too scared about an op being posted on it, but no one reveals themselves. Sentinels hunkered down. There's 5 players here. They don't want to give it away and have the rotations of Gen G come through to catch them. Instead, they're going to wait, but anyone pokes their little nose out before that smoke is up. In fact, the smoke is for stairs. Texture's still good on the angle, but he doesn't find the shot. He's going back for more. He's sticking around, and he's caught his shot. Zelsis down. Blast packing away, being chased by the Boombot, but he's able to post once more, and the door control remains in the hands of Gen G. There's no threat from his left-hand side. This man only has one direction to look at, and Sentinels realize there's no way through. There's no space for them to capitalize on. Instead, they'll break the door. At least that's the idea. But Meteor's waiting for that too. Oh, no, in fact, that was Lakia breaking the door.
Yeah, I think he's almost trying to give his teammate an opportunity to make a play through the door.
30 seconds left.
Still, Sentinels sit, waiting for someone to make an error, someone to make a mistake. They've still got utility. The Nightfall previously used by Lakia delayed them a massive amount. And it looks like they might just have to save this one. Not finding any gap, any way into this round,
10 seconds left.
it is going to be another on the board. The question is, can they remove any of these extra weapons? Because they do not want to allow Sentinels to get away scot-free.
Well, they haven't pushed the door, so it's only the one player hunting. Meteor, it's not going to land. Not this time, so few weapons saved. This man Texture, he swung into 3 players, but again, there's a lot of utility coming their way. It's pulling their crosshairs off the angle, and I think they just weren't expecting this man to be as unhinged as he is.
He did it almost off the rip of the Nightfall.
Yeah.
So that's where all of your opponents get instantly taken down to like half HP. They also don't have any of the sound as well. That's the main thing. It's that they're obviously not going to be expecting someone to just run through an insta-peek, and they're also focusing on trying to reclaim tree control. Definitely risky, no doubt about it, but that has been what Texture's been doing. He's been disruptive. And now Sentinel's clearly feeling after the last of the last 5 rounds, 4 have gone the way of Gen G. They're starting to get themselves back into control. And from what we've seen from them, they definitely feel more comfortable on the attack, which is a very scary prospect for Sentinels who, sure, there's no doubt they can do it on the defensive side, but you look at their victories versus Heretics, who had a 9-1 over on that attack side. 10-2 versus Loud the last time they played. 9-3 versus 100 Thieves. They've always been solid on this attack, and right now they are being challenged.
Well, after split, you know, it can't be a nice feeling for this squad. One of the bigger tests that they've faced from a team that I think the community has been favoring Sentinels for sure, but we even heard it from the desk. You know, they're the favorite team, but it's not an upset necessarily if Gen G win. Like, this is pinned to be a close game and one that Gen G have chances in. Or maybe it's better to say not the most incredible upset we've ever seen. It's going to be marginal. But from what we've seen, they looked like the better team so far. Sentinels have to be challenged by Texture's aggression once more, but this time they're ready. Zekin's caught him. And Lakia, well, he's left in a bit of an awkward position. Does he stay around there aggressive? No, it's time to fall back. It's a good thing too.
But that's the thing. I think Sentinels are starting to learn that there's never really just been one player. There's always been a second layer to this B push, especially. Like the last time out, we saw Munchkin make a play and Karam was just behind. So they made sure that they cleared everything. The operator hanging out in the wall. That won't be able to be retrieved, at least for now. Still plenty of time, though. And you can see space being taken across the map for Sentinels. Again, they love selling this ruse towards the A site. Using this time John QT because of the fact that Sassy has his ult again. Not going to be used to fake it as he instantly catches both players. Karam, though, has already made it into the corner. They've got to be careful of this. He's done this before. We saw this yesterday. Wins the first duel, but the trade is immediate.
30 seconds left.
I was hoping for a little bit more in the crossfire, but Meteor doesn't land the first, and now caught by some utility. He's brave.
Spike planted.
Sticking around on that angle to look for a fight. His teammate's miles away. If he goes down, the save call might be made. No, but he doesn't go down. In fact, he sends them skyrocketing into this round with Sassy alone. Lakia, you know, he wants to just contain him, make sure he can't cross out to main. And now he might have. Maybe in the back of his line. They're split on the angle, and Sassy isolates one. The second, right into his crosshair, matching that of Meteor for a Red Bull clutch.
This game has been a treat already. I thought Meteor had done enough. He is having a worldie of a game. Being able to take this much space. They even knew he must have been around this angle. Even putting in a snakebite just moments later, split second later, to stop him from being able to do that. But luckily, they have this man, my bold brother, in Sassy, to be able to clutch things out. We've credited him when it comes to his utility usage throughout the game, but he also has the clutch in his locker. Again, though, this control instantly fought for by Gen G. They are never sat back. They are never comfortable just giving up map control. And while this is a bold position.
I've seen an op whole day alone before, Tom, but you know, usually from a little bit further back. Yeah, just
well, he does have the short range weapon of the op, so you know.
That's true.
You do have to get up nice and close.
Yeah, see if he pulls out any hip fires with it. Well, this might be a surprise for Sassy. Snakebite up and over, that's probably for Rubble.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's a bit more aggressive than you anticipated, my friends.
It's got to be infuriating. Why would he be that far? He's going back. He's not
He's
shying away.
supposed to
Like,
bring
that's the thing. He's gone right back to the same spot again, confident that he'll hit the shot. Obviously, his teams have also sort of stacked it up over on the C side. Utility being broken, still a chance, but just look, 2 players already. The Meteor goes through. He spots the majority. They're not, oh, just about. I thought that he might have flicked away. Karen's still here though, but he'll be traded out and back again, leaving it all onto Zekken. 25 seconds left, trying to fake out the plant, but Lakia not wanting to overextend. They've pinged exactly where he is, and Zekken's gonna go hunting, gonna try and take this man down and do exactly that. He's also got a flank coming in from Texture, but already he'll make the realization that this is going to be a push towards the B site. He's actually going to go running in. That's the thing. Texture instantly puts the nade. He has to try and stick this. May even go down to it, just 25 HP. But Zekken's still standing, still holding on. Texture just sticking it though. Already gets it to half and looks to try and bait him in. He's got so much time to play with that he has to go back! But Zekken lands the shot anyway! It's a back-to-back Red Bull clutch for SEN.
What an incredible play. That headshot, it's what it needed to be anywhere else, and he was going to be traded out by the bullet swinging back at him. And the idea here from Zekken.
It was a double check. I thought I saw him look away, and I was like, there's no way, but...
That was a fool me once, shame on you. You ain't getting away with it again. It was Karen, I think literally the round before. Certainly the last round that they went C. He was in that same corner, so of course they're going to check it. Great reactions to deliver. Gen.G, well, they were all smiles not long ago. Now, feeling pretty deflated after that, but they're only 1 round behind. And as we said, Sentinels usually have a very strong attack, so it's not a bad position to be in, even if it ends 7-5, and they've called a timeout here.
That's the thing. I feel like it's one thing losing a round to your own mistakes, your own misplays, or your opponent maybe just doing something that you didn't foresee. I don't really believe that Gen.G did anything wrong in those clutches. Like, you look, the last 2 1v2s, you're sat there going, okay, they tried to play it together. Sassy manages to isolate the fight and win a round. Then you look at the next one, Lakia falls back so that his teammate can rotate, but Zekken gets aggressive, takes him down. Texture rotates quickly enough to nade him on the plant, and with 25 HP, he gets it to half, waits for his opponent, and gets insta-one-tapped. Those are 2 rounds where Gen.G are looking at going, well, there's not really an adaptation there. We played the round correctly. Sentinels were just better with those individual plays.
And sometimes that's all it is, man. Like, there are going to be rounds where your opponent just goes off. And there's rounds that Gen.G have had very similar. I mean, even earlier on in this tournament, Texture with a pistol over on Split, emerging from a smoke, 4 shots, 3 kills. What? Got 1 through the smoke already with 10s dropped. And Sentinels, in this last round on their attack side, find themselves in a disadvantage due to a scrappy early A fight. Oh no.
Oh, the timing is perfect. Toxin's down. It's a good trade from John QT though. They needed something extra. They needed to bring that back to at least within contention. And with the way the last few rounds have gone, wouldn't be surprised to see the clutch. Also, a plant for John QT will get him his ult online. You can see though, Meteor is already set up. The Viper's Pit is great, but it's not going to be that impactful if your opponent has a lockdown.
Especially on this side, Tom, you can very easily box them in, and the only way out is it's a long run. Probably not getting back in. There it is. Ultimate ready. You hear the voice line called. John QT probably wants to use this a little closer so they have an escape. And in fact, very aggressively used. Immediately look at Gen.G's adaptation. They come pushing in towards the spawn angle, but that's where Sassy's waiting, and the orb's obscuring him for just a moment. It's a beautiful angle. He can even get out of here, but they drop it to take a fight together, destroy the lockdown as well. Clinical play from Sentinels, leaving Karen to do it all, and he doesn't stand a chance. Sentinels have earned their way, fought their way back up to 7 at the half. Not a bad scoreline, but their defense is going to be tested.
That was brilliant. Honestly, I'm thoroughly enjoying this match. The adaptations from either side, the orb put in play deep to give him a little bit of extra space. They knew exactly where their opponents would go once they placed the pit. That is honestly a John QT masterclass in repositioning, and they've earned themselves the 7-5 at the half.
Well, a lot of eyes have been drawn to Sentinels and 10s. One of the main players, He's been sensational. It's time to hear from some of his friends and family over in the audience.
Hey guys, Mika Fabs here, and we are back in the crowd with some very special guests. I have Valerie here, who you all know as Tenza's mom, and you have Billy here, Tenza's uncle. The whole family's out here. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, I saw you guys getting really into the game here. Of course, how are you guys enjoying it so far?
Oh, it's amazing. Hola, Madrid!
Hi, it's been awesome here watching the Sentinels play their game.
Yeah, and I hear that you were actually a big influence on Tenz while he was, starting his gaming career.
Yeah, definitely it started out. You're definitely a gaming family, and just making sure that he stayed competitive and focused on getting better. And he just took it off by himself from there.
And Valerie here told me a little secret. What is your rank, sir?
Probably Decade Ascendant, but my peak's Immortal too.
Whoa! Let's give a round of applause for that. Now, of course, it's massive that you get to see your son here. You go to another corner of the globe, and you have fans all over just applauding his name. How does that make you feel?
It's very heartwarming. It's,
Don't make me cry.
no, amazing. I'm so proud. Tyson, oh my God. So proud.
Speechless. We love him. We definitely do. Now, let's hear the both of you. Can you give a massive shout out to Sentinels and to Tyson playing up there right now?
Let's go, Sentinels. You guys are amazing. Let's go. You got this. We love you, Tyson.
Let's go, Tyson! Let's go, Sentinels!
Let's get back into the game.
We love you, Tyson! What was that, Tom? You just left me hanging.
Yep.
We agreed on that. Tom, you told me let's do that when it comes back.
I've heard a lot of people heckin' love that guy, so you know.
But not you. Okay, fair enough. 7-5. Sentinels doing pretty well at this stage of the game. We said they're used to a very strong attack, and sure, there were some stumbles. But now let's see if they can get off on the right foot here on their defense. The pistol round underway. One Ghost, and just classics to back it up on that defensive side. Gen.G not showing their intention just yet. They've got some control for the A push, looking for any B aggression, but it looks like the intention is to take this to C or open that door and quickly double back.
The smoke timing
We'll go all the
will
way back.
deter them for now. A little bit of space towards that B side, but it looks like Sentinels have a decent read. Two players walking their way back up. The Prowler's actually going to give it away. There's a couple of players here. Zekken does have his nade available if he wants to try and deny them. Instead, he's just going to spam, and he's taken out Lakia.
Sneaking into that corner as well. It's a beautiful crossfire if they do emerge onto the site. Deep smoke stopping for any C aggression. Turret watching the push up on the other side. Two players on C as well. Sentinels have no worries on that side of the map or B. But A, on the other hand, has come under threat. They've lost Rubble control. They've seen players here, and they're making a quick reaction with a three-man rotate onto that actual site.
So well placed for this push. Tens of smokes has made it awkward again. Already though, Munchkin's able to trade one back. The Paranoia's missed, and Sassy's going to try and capitalize off it. But Munchkin lands another shot. Even gets a fight onto Tens, who's low. Somehow they're turning this. They've got to get that spike down. Snakebite into position, but it's not going to deny. Karen just holding, at least for the moment. But Zelsis, again, is going to be able to bring this back. Both players low, but Munchkin just isn't missing a beat. He hits his fourth kill of the round, and just whenever there's a moment for someone to step up, it always seems to happen.
Unbelievable. I mean, this guy was unreal last map. Don't get me wrong. Pretty sure he came out of the first map. Yeah, the first half with 2 kills.
Yeah.
He was quiet, and now he's woken up at such a crucial time for this squad. It's not just the 4 kills. He's one hit, and I'm pretty sure his teammate is too.
Bear in mind, that reaction was Texture, the guy who won them the pistol on split by hiding and killing 3 people. And he's like, whoa! What?
Looks like we might have gotten an early reaction, because I'm sure he's going to be hyped up after that one too. Tense though, sneaking around the corner, good for one. Caught immediately. Good catch by Munchkin, good react, and a follow-up from Lakia closes the round. Pretty clinical on the way through. One player lost.
I need that much slower because my brain wasn't able to comprehend how Texture got 2 kills that quickly. Even still, relatively clean. I'm seeing Meteor with a sniper on attack, and I don't mind it, because at this point, not going to doubt him. 17 and 9. He may not be on the duelist anymore, but he definitely has that duelist mentality. And yeah, couple off. Actually, both players not that far away from a showstopper. It could be a big round for the Rays players.
Especially with the economy kind of low for the attacking side. Texture, there's one already. Now just one from the showstopper with most of his HP still intact. Gen.G, they haven't gotten away with it scot-free. Karen's been lost. Omen on each side out. Paranoia's no longer in play. Zalsis with one of the stranger angles you'll see held with an Odin. It's just a fallback, so he's covering C and B with his utility, and a wild shot through the smoke for John QT. There's the advantage claimed, although marginally considering Sassy's HP.
Yeah, Sassy was able to trade off that first kill. I think it was actually a solid reveal from Lakia that actually gave up Tenz's position up close. There was expectations there for Gen.G that they were going to be challenged. But even still, it's going to have to be an almost complete reposition. Now, they've got the turret, they've got the alarm bot, so they know that there's not really much of a chance that anybody's got this aggressive. But other than that, information is barren for the side of Gen.G. They have no idea what they're pushing into. You mentioned that Odin and its position. Well, depending on the plant spot, it might actually have quite high impact. And he's holding on to one of his nano swarms. With 20 seconds left, sure, it's probably going to end up in a retake, but there is a chance that this might be stopped by Zelsis.
Well, there's the nano activated that's on site already. One thrown through to delay even further. 10 seconds. Time to get that plant through. It's got to be safe in the corner. Got to wait a little longer after the nano runs the clock down, and that is a very tight plant. I think he's just about got it, but no spray coming through on the other side. That was 0.1 or 0.2 of a second by my read, but just about close enough to allow it to come through. But with texture down, the numbers thin even further on the attacking side. Now the defenders, I suppose, of this site. One found by Lakia. Meteor needs some impact with this, and he'll find it. Another kill, but he's 4 HP. 1 against 2. The nade hunting him down. So too is Zekin. 8 found for Sentinels. Gen.G made a good attempt at this one.
Yeah, definitely made it a little bit more costly, but they did have a fair amount of rifles going into that as a bonus. Again, though, I'd like the delay. The fact is that came down to a split second, and I think there was a very real world where Lakia fat fingers that and they lose the round just off time.
Yep.
Like, it was so insanely close. Good positioning, though, meant that they were able to find a lot of these kills before things really got too dangerous. And now we mentioned the showstopper. Texture used his in the last round. Zekin has his available now.
These rounds are trickling in bit by bit. The lead only ever summed up by a round or two. It's never safe, it's never secure, nor are these players. Early aggression, again, from Sentinels. A lot of utility, and most importantly, 4 players here. Paranoia used, Zekin gets caught by the other sides, though, so he's not able to get a clean shot off on the showstopper. It's interrupted, and Sentinels start to fall back, concede some of this space. It's a good battle by Gen.G, and they thought they had a lot to work with Meteor sneaking through to B, but he's being caught.
And it's now back into that awkward scenario. They had so much space, but also that takes off all of that extra Killjoy utility, so they can't really afford to dilly down anymore. They're gonna have to make their move again. Walking into the Lion's Den. Zelsis with his utility, but also with his Odin at the back. Hasn't been revealed. He's sat patiently waiting with his gun in hand, and he's gonna win the fight again. Even look at the spam through. He's done a lot of damage to Karen, but he's just buying time for the rotation. You don't really see plays like this every single day. Sat at the back with the Odin in hand, and he's just gonna go the sun on his own. Again, another 4K comes out for the side of Sentinels, and a solo hold of that C site.
I've never seen anyone do that before. I've never seen it. Just hip fire in the Odin. Every part of that was so beautiful as well. The realization he needs to go for the wall bangs, then that they're going to swing him. He swings wide ahead of them. Makes it a little more awkward for them to land. Like, this is good. The swing here, it perfectly offsets where Karen was looking to pre-fire on. Like, he could not have read that any better. What an unbelievable play, and then to actually deliver sprays like that, hip firing when you're just beginning it, you have a lower rate of fire, unbelievable. I'm gonna dream about that tonight.
Well, The dreams of Gen G's 2-0 seem to be slipping away. Sentinels extending that lead and now back to pistols and a hero rifle for Texture. He's had his moments in this game, but most of it has been with an operator in his hand. Once again, Zelsis is waiting. And the thing is as well, that it leaves them with so little opportunity for where they can plant. Instead, they're going to go back, look to put some pressure onto Tens, who's been having one of his quieter performances, that's for sure. But even still, all he really has to do is get that information, call for the rotations, and get some support.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see Tens flex a lot, and I think here on OMEN, the way they've been playing it on defensive side, he's often just the guy throwing the paranoia and trying to get involved afterwards.
Placing sentry. 30 seconds.
We go to a map 3, might see a little more from him. Gen G, few pistols, but as we said, you know, it was nothing but Mastercard thrifties starting off that first map. No reason we can't return to it now. Meteor's flanks have been caught again and again. This time it's Sassy to find him, and with 13 seconds left, they need to make a move onto the site. 10 on the clock as they get close. Blast pack still in play, going to be used here, but not booping him fully off. Just about far enough away that he can continue planting. Karen falls. Pistol standing, Guardian spotted and dropped, and it's cleaned up nicely by Sentinels. It's only Munchkin left, and he can't even get near that spike to stop the defuse. What a nice shot connected. That's where the hope of the round ends.
Yeah, in the end, he almost has to go down just to make sure that he's going to have weaponry for the next round. And it's going to be a small cost for the side of Sentinels, 3 rounds in a row, and relatively clean ones as that. They've got Zelsis now. 7,000, and they have got the crowd support. It definitely seems like they are the favorites, even if they're on a different continent from where they're normally playing. Sentinels have won the hearts of many, and now will have a comfortable lead. Even still, though, they're going to be put under pressure. An immediate push here as they take control of Mound.
That util in response. Good paranoia, but too late. The player's already able to see and take down Zekin as Tens fades from the angle. They find themselves in a 4v4. Good retake ultimate online for Zelsis. That can counteract the Viper's Pit as we've seen before, but the potential to play aggressively on the back of Lakia's could cancel it out. It has for Sentinels previously. Tens on the other side of this smoke has John QT covering the cross, but Karen's already gotten up close. A shrouded step that wasn't expected, and now the Nightfall gone all the way through. John QT, 13 HP, but he fades into the corner, and now he'll be able to get his health back online. Even notices the Nano Swarm chasing him down. Snakebite now landed right on him, and he's jumping forward.
Oh my
caught
God.
by another piece of utility. This time the alarm bot, Sassy, almost had it, but he's caught. Oh, it's Zelsis in on the Odin. Picking up one, and he's got his lockdown in prime position. Another swing, and a player spotted. Only one to root out of that Viper's Pit. And Munchkin's already given up the angle, essentially. They're running for the hills. As Zelsis steps forward, he'll catch Lakia, setting them up to close this out, but Munchkin falling. It's Zelsis' round. As 11 goes on the board for Sentinels, they're close to a map 3.
We've said it throughout this tournament. We've seen a lot of teams lose their own map pick. We've seen a lot of teams fight back. Mentioned it as well that throughout their last 9 series, Sentinels have taken the first map every single time. But we're seeing that they have no trouble looking for a response in map number 2. Zekin leading the way, but we've also in this second half seen a massive resurgence from Zelsis. Had a couple of really high impact rounds. Seems to love the C site. And more for Gen G. They're going to give the legend that is Solo an opportunity to try and talk this one through. As said, we have seen him play against Sentinels the last time they actually won an event. He played in the upper match to go into the final and lost. Now he has to find some wise words to try and bring this team back and have an opportunity for the 2-0. Otherwise, they head into Breeze. And honestly, either of these teams have looked fantastic on that map, so I have no idea which way it will go.
It's going to be whoever's made best use of the downtime, what little of it there is in between these games. Again, talking about the stakes of this match, believe it was Kaplan that was talking about, and actually it was because we showed it on the desk, the fact that whoever wins this, first of all, gets to watch their opponent play, always a great advantage to have, but mainly they get a day off. They can prepare, they can scrim, they can relax, get up late, whatever they want.
And the veto advantage as
Veto
well.
advantage, exactly. The impact of winning this series, it's not just about, oh yeah, they can get to the grand final anyways. They can, but they'll be on the back foot when they make it there, running off back-to-back game days.
Well, 4 rounds in a row. This attack side for Gen G hasn't looked great. We're going to see the same again. This adaptation to the C-side control is to have aggression, and then Zelsis now sits with his setup on the A side of the map. And I think they're going for this again because it's yet to be tested. We haven't seen the pressure put onto Zelsis on the other side. But they feel confident in it. They've left him there alone. In fact, there's no support at all. The rest of the team are massively far away. In fact, we're even seeing a rotation from Sassy towards the players over on that C side.
He has to cover the B gap.
They want this man to go for a real hero play with no support whatsoever.
Oh, if he commits to it. If he just commits to it, he could have so much value spraying through that wall. Look at the players creeping up towards the switch. Zelsis doesn't know, though. There's no information to play with just yet. He's waiting for his alarm bot to get contact. Now the door's open. He needs to run. He knows players are about to flood that part of the map, or that they might be. In fact, Gen G have changed their idea. The direction now brings them towards B. Smoke up, and a good kill as Tens is caught out of position. Nightfall through. And that is going to slow them way down. Keep the information in their hands. Allow Zelsis to go in spraying. And Zekin does much the same. This one's done. Karen in a barrel. And Zelsis spraying away. It's 12-7. 5 in a row for Gen G. Well, we're going to go all the way to Breeze.
Yeah, they were so ready for that. Had the utility available to play the retake on C if they needed to. So Zelsis' only play was to just get out of there. They had 4 players ready for the B site, and the second the Nightfall goes in, Zekin, he can smell his opponents. He can sense the blood in the water and gets himself a couple of headshots easily. 5 rounds in a row now, and that's exactly what Gen G need on the other side to take us to overtime. It feels unlikely with how clean this has been for Sentinels. And already they're getting the early read. The spam almost gets the opener.
Oh, it's going to. Because after you spam that, you spam this wall, and Karen's right there. The bullets get very close, but not close enough. Zelsis is now back on the site, reloading as pressure's applied. The door is open, but all the while Texture is creeping his way towards the stairs. 2 players spotted, 1 up close, and even suspecting 1 near the switch. Zelsis has a lot of information. Oh, and even the kill on Lakia. The blind fire pays off. Karen's in danger too. He was getting sprayed at. All the while, they're just hoping that on the side of Gen G, somebody, look on Sentinels will make a mistake.
Look where Zekin is. He's pushed all the way up, so he knows that they're not going back in this direction. I like this, though. The adaptation that maybe Sentinels aren't expecting. Never mind. Sassy makes the play, but gets caught out. Even still, though, Meteor's found another. Somehow this round has become competitive. 30 seconds left on the clock. They still have themselves a lockdown available. The spam might actually just about get rid of it. It's still online, at least for now, surviving an extra second, and they haven't been able to put the pressure on. Tench has got another. Jump QT with 1 more. Leaves it all on to Karen. He's on 1 HP. And through the smoke, Jump QT will close it. We're getting the map 3 we desired, as both teams will win their opponent's map choice.
Convincingly at that 13-7 for Sentinels. They came in with control and they never let go. It was a close fight all the way up to that 7-8 scoreline, and then they ran away with it. Gorgeous play from the Sentinel side, and we saw the resurgence of so many players. Zekin finishing 23-10. This is a good sign for what's to come. Breeze, map 3 to close this one out and send 1 team to the grand final. It's coming up after this.